Hey there, dear Runeterra community, and welcome back to another Runeterra video. Yes, it has been a long time since the last time I recorded or actually uploaded Runeterra content to my channel. Missed basically an entire patch, missed the entire Targon thing to a certain degree, however, but there was basically no reason for that because I was playing this game non-stop. And I fucking hate Targon, by the way. I fucking hate the Aurelian Soul, like, meta that was, like, circling around. So I took a little bit, I took a little step back. Wasn't playing each and every day. Was basically playing, like, every second or third day. And then, now that the meta is kind of settled down, I was like, okay, it's time to record some stuff again. And I want to actually record more of this and also stream more of Runeterra in the future because I'm playing this game non-stop when I'm not recording also. So I also amassed my collection, by the way. And this time, by the way, I'm bringing to you an archetype that I wanted to show you like 2 patches ago, but for some reason, every time I'm like, okay, I'm gonna record, and then I'm like, maybe tomorrow. This time, however, I bring to you my absolute favorite archetype in the fucking entire game from 2 patches ago, basically, and that is Deep. And the cool thing about that is, or the thing is, I was playing Deep when Targon came out, and it didn't work in the slightest, because, there is like Leona, there is like Aurelian Soul, fuck that guy, by the way, I fucking hate that deck archetype, but MegaMogwai, a couple of days ago, he released a his new Deep list for the current meta, and, I was watching, I'm watching MegaMogwai every day, basically, and, Deep is actually my favorite archetype, and I was like, okay, he was playing really good with that. He was having decent success with that, or pretty good success with that, actually. So I was like, why not play it? And this is why this time I'm going to show you Deep 2.0, the list by our Lord and Savior, MegaMogwai's. So you've seen this list before, obviously, if you're watching MegaMogwai. If you don't, you should. And yeah, this is basically the deck. Let's go through this. I'm gonna show you the curve right here. We have no 0 mana drops, obviously, because, Deep. But we have a pretty good early game. We have a pretty decent, like, mid game. And obviously, late game, we just crash them. So basically what this deck is trying to do is you want to survive with a little bit of health gain, obviously, with basically all health gain that Shadow Isles has to offer. And to a certain degree also Bilgewater with Horny Toad, stay horny. And yeah, we just that's what we use to survive early to mid game against also aggressive type of decks, and then late game, obviously, when Nautilus drops or when we get Maokai online, depends on what is more important and depends on what is more likely to happen, then we just completely destroy the enemy. So for our early game drops, we have, obviously, that has to be in every Deep deck. No matter how experimental you are with Deep, there are just certain cards that need to be in there, and that is Dredgers. Has been nerfed, obviously, but he's a 1/1/1 mana, so one of the best early game drop you can have, and it tosses 3. If you don't know Deep, by the way, Deep archetype means you toss. And tossing means you toss 3, or depending on how much, in this case you would toss 3 cards, so those 3 cards are out of the game. When you are Deep, when 15 cards or less are in your deck. As soon as 15 cards or less are in your deck, then you are Deep, and then your deep sea creatures, that is what you play with Deep, get buffed, but we're gonna get to that in a little bit. We have Jettison. The thing is, there is also Salvage. Salvage, however, is 4 mana. Is Salvage actually burst speed? I don't really like playing with Salvage. Yeah, it's also burst speed, but it's 4 mana, so you toss 2 and you draw 2. So overall, you're losing 4 cards. This one tosses 4. You don't get any of the cards, but it's 1 mana, and that is the important thing right here. So that can threaten Deep really quickly. We have 2 copies of that. No Salvage, because I think also for the current metagame and the decks that we face in the meta, or that are popular in the meta, it's a little bit too slow. We have Stalking Shadows, which is amazing, by the way. It's a 2 mana burst speed spell, so pretty cheap. Pick a follower from the top 4 cards in your deck. It can also hit nothing. That's the worst thing that can happen. Draw it, shuffle the rest into your deck, then create an exact ephemeral copy in hand. And that is fucking baller, high roller, shot caller, by the way. We have Thorny Toad or Horny Toad, whatever you prefer. Obviously, if you're into the memes, it's the Horny Toad, who has a Last Breath ability. Toss 2 and heal your Nexus for 2. It has 4 HP, 1 and 1 damage. So, as you can see already, by the way, this one is obviously there just to just as a blocker, basically. And also, you know, you toss when it dies, and you also heal when it dies. So, also a good target, actually, to get with Stalking Shadows, because you are guaranteed the 2 Nexus health, and you are guaranteed the 2 tosses, because it is definitely gonna die. Vile Feast is there also for a little bit of health gain, by the way. Drain 1 from a unit to summon a Spiderling, so it also provides us a blocker at 2 mana fast speed. We have Deadbloom Wanderer, also a lifesteal. 3 copies of that. Obviously, when he's summoned, you toss 3, and he is a 3/2. We have Jaw Hunters, who is amazing, by the way. When I'm summoned, create a random sea monster in hand. He's a 4/1, so pretty good because he's a challenger, but he gets removed by pretty much everything, so I think that's why he's actually pretty balanced. And a random sea monster, by the way, means if you have like 3-offs of what we do, by the way, Devourer of the Depths. If you have 3-offs, doesn't matter, he can also give you a Devourer of the Depths. So you have like 4 Devourers of the Depths. And that's also, by the way, what you can do with good old Stalking Shadows. This one is a pretty good target for that as well, but we're going to get to that in a little bit. So basically, this one is 3 mana, you drop 1 creature, the Troll Hunters, basically, you get 1 in hand, a random sea monster 1, and you also have Challenger. So, you know. We have Maokai, one of the first champions. Usually you see him paired up, obviously, with good old Deep. What this guy does, each round, the first time you play another ally, you toss 2, and summon a Sapling. And Saplings are 2/1 ephemerals, means they die at the end of turn, and they also have Challenger, which is pretty damn good. And by the way, each round, the first time you play another, your units have died or your cards have been tossed 25 times. He doesn't have to be on the board for that, by the way. That's his level up condition. And by the way, this thing is ephemeral, meaning it dies at the end of the turn, no matter if it killed something, no matter if it battled, it dies, and if the round ended, it dies. So this one is a certain trigger, obviously, for Maokai every time. And when he's leveled up, by the way, that's when the real fun starts. He has regeneration. He gets up to a 2/5, and when I level up, obliterate the enemy deck, leaving 4 non-champions. And at the round start, you summon a Sapling. Obliterate, by the way, means completely removed from the game. Doesn't cause last breath and can't be revived. Meaning if they play a Rekindler deck, they can get this shit back because it's obliterated. Beautiful. We have Abyssal Eye, 2-offs, which is a elusive Deep, obviously, and Nexus Strike, draw 1, he's a 3/3 for 5 mana, and if he's Deep, he gets +3/+3, meaning this thing is a 6/6 elusive, and he draws you 1, so that also helps you going into Deep. For a little bit more survivability, we have Grasp of the Undying, drain 3 from an enemy unit, meaning it deals 3 damage to a unit we target, and it also heals our Nexus for 3. We have Withering Wail, deal 1 to all enemies and heal your Nexus for 3, self-explanatory. Atrocity is what we want to pair up with Nautilus, or one of our deep sea creatures. Kill an ally to deal damage equal to its power to anything, so we can target the Nexus, obviously. This thing, you're familiar with that if you play a lot of Dehu Endure, since it's one of your win conditions. Devourer of the Depths. I don't want to say anything, by the way, but we drew a shit ton of this card, and it's an awesome trigger, or an awesome target, by the way, also for Stalking Shadows, because this one gets +3/+3 if he's Deep, so that one is a 7/7, but other than that, it's a 4/4. If you play it, obliterate an enemy with less health than me. Meaning, it completely dies, basically. So this thing is a 7/7 when you are Deep. And, yeah, the enemy card is just completely removed. Meaning any last breath trigger doesn't apply. It's just gone from the board, out of your life, doesn't matter anymore. The funny thing about that is, obviously, if you play with Stalking Shadows, you have an ephemeral one, and you have the one that you chose, obviously. And then, you know, you can also get this thing with Jaw Hunters. So, having a shit ton of them is actually a lot of value. Next, we have our second champion, the name of the deck. Kinda, even though Swim says he's terrible. Don't believe what this guy is saying. Actually, do it every time, but he's completely wrong on Nautilus, if you ask me. This guy, 0/12. He's tough and fearsome. When I level up, copy tossed allies that cost 4+ back into your deck, which is amazing. And he levels up when you are Deep, and when you are Deep, that's when the fun starts with Nautilus. He gets, obviously, this, that, you know, all tossed allies get with 4+ cost are back in your deck as well, but he's a 13/13 tough, fearsome, and sea monster allies cost 4 less. It's like, what? Or to quote Carlos Matos, what? Because this thing costs, all of a sudden, costs 1 mana. This thing, all of a sudden, costs 2 mana. If you have multiple one of these in hand, you can play 2 Devourer of the Depths in 1 turn and obliterate 2 enemy creatures, basically for 2 mana. Which is a lot of value if you ask me, and that's why Nautilus is fucking bae. And his hero ability is also pretty damn good. Stun an enemy, and we don't have any copies of that in the deck, but we can do that, but you know, it's not mandatory, because, you know. Stun an enemy, shuffle that unit into the enemy deck if you have a Nautilus. Shuffle a Nautilus into your deck, obviously. And this is, by the way, how we cycle. If we go deep and we somehow mill ourselves a little bit too much, so let's say we have like 3 cards left, we have 1 Nautilus on the board, we are constantly gonna draw Nautilus Riptide. So we just use Nautilus Riptide, that card gets shuffled back into the deck, and this way, you know, we just cycle through without ever, like, getting down to 0 cards in our deck. Which is pretty damn good. And if they remove Nautilus, we have a Nautilus Riptide, so we just play it, and that gets transformed into a Nautilus if he removes it, and then we have Nautilus back, you know? Value. Next we have Vengeance, kill a unit, self-explanatory, and then as a one-off we have Terror of the Tides. MegaMogwai's said this is kind of the staple of Deep, which I don't really agree that much with, but it is okay when you get it on the board, you know, or it's actually pretty damn terrifying if you get it on the board. It's an 8 mana, or 6 if you have a Nautilus, a leveled up Nautilus out. Sea Monster, and if you're a Deep, +3/+3 as every other Deep card. And Sea Monster allies have Fearsome, and when you attack, give enemies -2/-0 this round. So basically, by the way, if this is Deep, this is a 9/8, who gives also the all enemies -2/-0. And yeah. That is pretty much it. We have a 1-off of that. If we toss it, by the way, a little bit of an explanatory if you don't know, if you are not that familiar with Deep as well, you can't toss champions, meaning if you play like a Dread, like let's say you play a Dread Dredgers in the late game, even though you never want to do that anyways, when you have like 3 cards left, you don't toss anything if the last 3 cards are champions. You can't toss champions, even if those are the last ones in your deck. So that's never gonna happen, by the way. Just a little friendly reminder right there. There are different variants of Deep because there are different cards you can play in. There are people, as I said, you know, who play. Whoops, that was wrong. I didn't mean. Well, never mind. Did I just get a fucking? Yeah, get out of here. There are people who basically play also Nautilus Riptide. There are people who play. I think it was Lure. Yeah, that's the one I played with, by the way. Lure of the Depths. Reduce the cost of sea monsters everywhere by 1, and you also draw a sea monster. It's a burst 3 mana spell. And when you play 2 of these, yeah, let's say you play 2 of these, right? Then this thing suddenly only costs 4 mana, and if you have a Nautilus out, all deep sea creatures get reduced by 4. You play this for 0 mana. 0 mana, obliterate for a 7/7. Which is pretty damn good. But, you know, yeah, the main theme behind this is basically heal up before, in order for us to survive. So Lure of the Depths is a little bit too slow in that, and all the health gain spells that we have right here are just too good to give up, and I don't see the value of dropping Terror of the Tides for a Lure of the Depths. By the way, fun fact also, by the way, Jaw Hunters, random sea monster. This one is a sea monster, so this thing can also draw us a Terror of the Tides. And since we have a 3-off of that, there are 3 possible chances for us to get a Terror, to get Abyssal Eye, or to get a Devourer of the Depths. By the way. But yeah, there are different ways of playing Deep. There are a lot of cards that synergize with Deep, but this is the list that MegaMogwai like showcased, and I don't want to spoiler anything, but I fucking love Deep again. That's all I'm gonna say. So I have 3 games for you today, by the way. I'm silver rank, trying to climb out of that and record my progress along the way, obviously. So we're gonna see if we manage to do that. I'm silver 4. Let's see if we manage to get to silver 3. And we start off, obviously, with game number 1. For wow. First opponent, Azathoth, playing against Ashbrom, Tyrannamere, and Elise. Frel, Yizzle, and Shadow Izzle. I don't even know what to expect, to be honest. I'm just gonna mulligan everything and go for a little bit of early game, I guess. Seems fair. Side. Okay. Where are you? It's pretty good. It's good mill. Good self mill. Even though we didn't... Yeah, it was pretty terrible. Because we just lost out of that. I'm gonna block every time. And I'm gonna cry every time. Because we got... They're expendable. Yeah, I'm gonna go for double dredgers. Just terrible mills. Not a single... And we don't run many, but still. Not a single deep sea creature. Side. Terror of the Tides, we get that back as soon as we drop Nautilus. Not a trash. Yeah, honestly, I don't know what his win con is. Seems to be aggressive though, just because of that Elise right there. And Braum can stall for Tyranndomere, but it seems a little bit counterintuitive. If you ask me. Do we go? Yeah, we can block the spoders that she's gonna spawn. With a good old horny toad. Attacking with that, eh? Well, that's gonna get dredgers. If that's even a word. You realized. Yup. Be blocked. And I think I can... Yeah, I can do that for... as long as like, for a long time until I drop the Devourer. Gonna be a while until I drop him, though. Withering Whale. Pretty good. Can't play Maokai with anything, so I'm just gonna go Stalking Shadows first. Hit nothing. Thank God. That's good. It's really good, really good. Am I gonna drop the Ephemeral one? He could have another Ice Veil Archer, which would suck a bit. Let's see. It's really good.
There it is.
Should have known.
Gotcha.
Gotcha. Well, I can drop Withering Whale next, heal up for a bit, and then... Yeah, let's do that. Not much of value was lost because that was actually the Ephemeral one, so yeah. Not as bad. That kind of sucks. I'm overhealing a bit. Nah, actually I don't. Never mind. That's alright. Get rid of those two damage dealers. Also damage Elise and have a roast in a bit. Healing up. Value. Again, can't play Maokai with anything. So might as well. Or do I play Devourer? Nah, I can damage that with Vile Feasts. And I really want to get rid of this. So yeah, let's play him. How much? 20 cards, alright. By getting the fuck out of my way, bruh. Vile Feast? Brittle Steel? Which doesn't... Does it? Does it work? Yeah, I think it's with HP, right? Or Flash Freeze, yeah. Yup! Could play another one right away. Well, yeah, now I can play Maokai with it. It's fine. Cut away. 6 damage is a little bit frightening.
My shield is my sword.
Gonna get Maokai, I guess. But yeah, we're also gonna heal up with Thorny Toad.
Friends,
So that's alright.
our banner will lead the way.
I'm gonna keep this just in case. Gonna put it down to 5. This guy can be dead with Devourer. Should be good.
I have learned patience.
She could have crawling, or he could have crawling sensations and get a level up for Elise, but I don't think that matters as much. Drain that, and I get a 2 HP back that she deals. Yep. Should I go deep? Nah. I'm gonna keep the spell mana. Fucking Steam. Jesus. Alright, wait. So he's a 7/7, deals with that. Sounds pretty good. Let's do that. Go deep! And of course, it summons... Wild Feast would suck. Of course, it summons also an ephemeral sapling, which I can use to target and kill Elise, or Everosin, which I think is a little bit of a higher threat. Potentially. And I almost have a leveled up
Let me tell you about Avarosa.
Maokai. Actually, no, wait, you're a little bit more scary, I think. Do I attack with him? Should be clear, actually. Because he pretty much kills everything. Unless, of course, he has... Even though if he has, like, frost... Even though he has frostbite or something like that, it doesn't really matter much, I think. Because he's still gonna survive. Makes sense. Seems Flare. Alright, 2 more. 2 more to deplete his entire deck. How much do you need for this guy? 8. Could have him in hand now. Probably. The possibility is there. Woof! What a draw. What a draw. That's sick. That's sick. We lost our Maokai just in the nick of time. Like, one more draw, basically, and he would have been Dungeon Rings. He doesn't get much value, which is kind of funny. Sadly, I can use him with Atrocity. Since I don't have the mana. That is just... It's just good. It's alright. Wait, it's gonna drop down to 3. Yeah, it's alright. Can definitely live with that. So now we have Maokai leveled up.
Vessel small, but she ain't lacking courage.
We're having a good time. We're having a real good time with this. Jesus. Oh yeah. Toss it, boy! Let's get ready. Give me your deck, my boy. Give me your deck. Come on. Come on, here we go. Give it up, boy! Woo! Boom!
The rot must be cut away.
Love it every time. Love it every time. And we can drop another good old Devourer.
Calm of an ice-shrouded world.
I can challenge her with Jaw Hunters, so I'm gonna get rid of this guy.
We'll see who feasts tonight.
Even though he ain't doing much, I think. Alright. Does he have anything to remove him? I think I can swing with this. It's down to 2. Well, he could have Grasp. Otherwise, maybe you would have used it on him. I'm gonna play it safe. Just use this guy to block, basically. It's taken 7. It's down to 4. We are on 9, and we can shuffle cards back every time when we draw a Nautilus and a copy of him. Okay, it's a free card. Good thing is, by the way, he doesn't have a single champion left, which is kind of funny.
Ice runs in our veins.
Oh, does it? What if I draw up? Yeah, that Nautilus. Well, that's a no-brainer, I would say. Will drown. The good boy. And we are threatening lethal, by the way, by basically paying nothing for a beast below, paying only 2 for a Devourer, and by atrocity.
There is no shelter.
Memes, my friends. Memes. Oh yeah, good reception actually for the call. I think removing this also sounds pretty nice. Right? Let's do that. Or that. Deep! And that's why we play. And that's why we play deep. Hell fucking yeah. Love it. Absolutely love it. Next game against Ionizel Noxesizzle Potsus Campulos. Alright. So let's stun with Yasuo Katarina. Could be a MegaMogwai list, actually. It wouldn't surprise me. I like that. I guess we can get rid of this. I don't think he has much early game, actually, with this. So yeah, like the little ping damage things, nice. Little ping damage things like Vile Feast won't do much, I think. That's alright, Terror of the Tides. We can get that with Jawl Hunters as well, and also we can get it back later on with Nautilus. Not a big deal losing that. Maokai could come in handy. Hisagi! But okay, yeah, okay, you get it. I know, you get a proc for Yasuo, but really? Is it worth it? Not sure. Apparently it is. Speaking of Jawl Hunters, I think this guy can also come in handy, by the way. Good old Abyssal Eye. We just have to make sure that we actually can get rid of... Yeah, this tosses. That we actually get rid of Yasuo once he's on the board, which I think he can come on the board. Yeah, next turn. Let's see if we can get some damage in. Actually, we can drain him and then use Devourer. Because I'm pretty sure he... Yeah, there he is. Ugh. Can't drop the Jawl Hunters because he's just gonna wipe him out. But I think... Yeah.
The blessed isles live through me.
And I think rarely, by the way. Let's make sure actually we set up. Actually, no, because I would overheal. So we let him attack, like get some damage in, and then I'm gonna Vile Feast the fuck out of this guy. So we have him in range for the Devourer. Needs 4 more procs. We should be fine.
Life and death on a blade's edge.
Cool story, bro. Could also just Grasp and Vile, but I think they would overdo it. Okay. Yeah, we overheal again, but I really want to make sure that I get him with Devourer. We could get him to try to well, no. I was gonna say we can just pull down Jawl Hunter and then he's gonna kill it, but that wouldn't accomplish much. Or do I drop him? Well, he has so much mana, though. Let's see. Let's see what he drops. So he doesn't have, like, immediate answers. It's tempting, but no. No, no, no! $12? Yeah.
We will not fail.
That could be scary. Float the mana. That's good. Think I want to drop him? Or maybe rather this. So yeah, maybe rather Jawl Hunter, so I have Grasp still enabled. And Jawl Hunters also damages this thing a bit. Rest can go face. Potentially. And it draws me another Devourer. Lovely. If I don't remove Maokai, we are kind of good in terms of leveling up. We have 2 challengers as well.
I tire of follow the wind, but watch your back.
I feel he has an answer.
Blessed vengeance.
He doesn't! Why do you drop the Yasuo then? I mean, it's fine with me, but still, it's weird. I'm not complaining. Nah, I'm good. So now we're gonna level up Maokai, and that's when it's gonna be extremely funny, actually. Can't remove anything, sadly. Or if I play this... Am I gonna be... I should be deep, shouldn't I? I'm not gonna risk it. And here we go! Boom! Just a little bit more. Okay.
You should stay back, cowards.
I could just swing. Okay, I still have grasp with this. Don't get the mill for that. If that wouldn't have killed the sapling, I think that would have been the level up. It's kind of desperate. Concussive? Ooh. I mean, it doesn't matter much, right? Almost as a Yasuo, but I mean... that, you know? And we have one... deny gone.
I've survived far worse.
Sure. You're a cock. You're just the worst kind of person. Every time, just before he fucking levels up, basically. Last game it was like, I think 1 before he would level up, and now it's like a little bit more, but still annoying. Oh yeah. Oh, the big boy. Oh, beautiful. Lovely. Lovely.
Time to work.
Ugh. Okay. Gotcha, boy. Gotcha. Now get ready, everyone, by the way. Get the anchors out, because we know what's about to happen. But I mean, it doesn't have overwhelm, and even if you would, I still am on 20 HP Nexus health, so we're kind of in the clear, I would say. I could also pass. Maybe he's trying to bait me into something. But I think it's always the weakest. Yeah, weakest enemy, so I don't really have much to fear, I think. I could also play Vengeance. Maybe that's the better play? Vengeance into this? Maybe, but I want to play Nautilus. All will drown. Yes! And I still can't play this, by the way. Just realized. Boom! There you are, my lovely. My precious! And this is swinging in for 6 as elusive, by the way. So, yeah. I think he gave up. He's just running down the timer now. Alright. Alright. I accept it. Actually, you know, maybe it's not that bad that they always target Mao Kizzle, because, you know, then that's when they, like, you know, get this done, then it's just Nautilus is just gonna hit him in the face. Kind of funny. I could play this, but let's just end this. Goodbye, Nexus Health. It's a fucking 4 mana Terror of the Tides, by the way. Seems flare. For sure. Alright, GG. Yeah. Oh yeah. Good. And there we are, Silver 3. Sure, slowly, but surely. Deep, my boys, deep. We are locked in on this. What is this? Necros Fit Timo, by the way. It's Braum, Ash, and a Vizzle, Tyranndomere. What? Alright. Alright, I don't know. It doesn't seem like he has much early game. So, and I thought maybe he has something against elusive, or mainly like freezing things, maybe. So it seems like a game, basically like the first game that we played, kinda. But yeah, the opening up with Dredgers is always good. It's always appreciated. But yes, Freljord Shadow Isles again, with not a single Shadow Isles champion though. It's all Freljord. This guy again. Well, Winter take me and, you know, Vilefeast take you. So, you know. It's fun for the entire family, basically. Ooh. One of my best friends, actually. Drop nothing, so we play Les Shadows. Huh. Is Devourer better here? For the long term, I would say maybe, but I'm gonna play, you know, stay horny. Gotta stay horny. Don't quote me on that. I mean, we don't really need to heal, but the tossing is nice. You know? And what is the... By the way, yeah, we... Okay, never mind. I was about to say, we definitely need to have... They need to let us know which one is, like, the ephemeral, but of course it does when you just hover over it. But a little, like, border or something would be nice, so we can just identify it quicker. Oh, you know, it's nitpicking. Huh. Those were some good cards, actually, that we tossed. I cry every time. So what we're gonna do is Maokai. Because I don't think he can remove him this turn, even though he floats a lot of mana right there. I was about to say money. Who knows? Yeah. And the cool thing, by the way, is he doesn't get shit for his fucking Braum. Or not much. That sucks. But he still doesn't get shit for his Braum. See? Sadly, I can't kill him with... If I would have the mana, Grasp into Devourer to kill off Braum. Kinda good. I mean, it doesn't get much value anyway, so that doesn't really matter as much. Just get the HP back. It's also good on the level up for Maokai. Okay. Getting that HP back. That seems fair. One away from deep. And he is a little bit farther off.
Let me tell you about Avarosa.
Everosa? Sure. Okay. Now we're actually going deep, if I hit with this. Since he draws. Of course not.
The time is right. Strike now.
But that means I'm free to remove ya. I hope. Nice.
Without me.
Could have had that, you know, buff spell for like 2 HP. Or does it just heal? I don't know. Can't remember actually. Sure. I'm still going deep. Ain't nothing gonna change that. Boom!
Join me in battle.
Little bit of a problem. Little bit.
They're so small, but she ain't lacking courage.
Becomes a 9/9, yeah.
Time for talking to. Ha! This is fun, yes?
This is gonna heal me up. Yep. Oh wait. Easy video game. He obliterates. He just doesn't exist anymore.
Start small. Grow tall. Grow strong.
Now, boy, give me your deck. Whoo! Woo! Thank you. Yes, and now you are gone, by the way, because I don't like ya. Don't like ya at all. So you're getting out of there. And you, my friend, getting obliterated. Would be, actually. If you would have brought that shit one more time, that is.
Life triumphs for once.
Yeah, because before it was kind of Nautilus, and this is what happens, by the way, when Maokai survives. You know, when you drop him down against a deck like this that doesn't seem to have any kind of idea what it's trying to be. It's kind of cool. Got it! My friends. Got it. Fucking got it. I fucking love Deep, man. Thank you, Mogwai-sama, for this freaking awesome Deep deck. This is great. It's like the old times.